Back in the 90s, the tech world was like the Wild West. Giants were being built, fortunes were made, it felt like overnight. But this is about a titan that had everything going for it. I mean, better tech, all the momentum, a real shot at the king. And then, poof, they just vanished. Let's dig into how that happened.
Seriously, think about it. We're talking about a company that was the #1 rival to Oracle, one of the biggest software companies ever. And yet, for most people, their name draws a blank. So what went wrong? Where did this giant go?
Okay, so let's set the scene. The battleground is the corporate database market, which is basically the engine room for the whole modern economy. You've got Oracle, this massive established powerhouse. And then you've got Informix, the challenger, faster, more nimble, and, as a lot of people were arguing, just plain better.
And this was not a friendly rivalry. It was intense. I mean, Informix was so confident, so bold, they put up this billboard right next to Oracle's headquarters. Dinosaur Crossing. Can you imagine? It was a direct shot, calling the king of the industry an old fossil. This wasn't just trash talk. This was a declaration of war.
So, why all the confidence? Where did they get the nerve? Well, here's the thing. They actually had the tech to back it up. Under the hood, what they were building was genuinely special.
When you put them side by side, the differences were pretty clear. For a ton of businesses, especially those that needed to process lots of daily transactions, that's what we call OLTP, Informix was just flat out better. It was faster, it was cheaper, and it was way easier to manage. Oracle was a beast, for sure, but it was also crazy expensive and a real headache to run.
And look, this wasn't just marketing hype. This is what the actual developers, the people in the trenches using this stuff every day, were saying. You can feel the passion in a post like this. To them, Informix wasn't just another tool. It felt like a beautifully crafted machine.
And that elegance led to some serious innovation. Their dynamic, scalable architecture, for example, was a total game changer. It let systems get bigger without grinding to a halt. Then they bought a company called Illustra and jumped way ahead in object relational tech. Suddenly, they could handle complex data like images and maps, stuff that was revolutionary for the time. And they weren't shy about it, consistently wiping the floor with Oracle and performance tests. So let's recap. They had the better product, they had the momentum, they were winning awards and winning over developers. What could possibly go wrong? Well, pretty much everything.
And to fall? Wow. It was fast. In '96, they're on top of the world, celebrating this huge acquisition. Then, just a few months into '97, their key architect and a bunch of top developers jumped ship to Oracle, of all places. Then, on April Fool's Day, you can't make this up, they announce a catastrophic $100 million revenue miss. By that summer, the CEO is out. It was a complete and total nosedive.
And get this, that Dinosaur Crossing billboard, the ultimate symbol of their confidence, went up in 1997, the very same year the company was completely imploding. So while they were busy taunting their rival on the outside, the whole company was rotting from the inside out. So how does a bad quarter turn into a full-on corporate disaster? Turns out, the problem was so much deeper than anyone on the outside could have imagined.
That revenue shortfall wasn't just a bad sales quarter. It was the tip of a massive iceberg. When investigators started digging, they found out the company had been cooking the books for years. They had faked over $200 million in revenue. Just made it up. And the fallout was brutal and personal. The CEO, Philip White, who was in charge during this whole mess, was first forced out. Then he was indicted by a federal grand jury. And finally, he pleaded guilty and was sent to federal prison. This wasn't a mistake, it was a crime.
The scandal was a death blow. The company's reputation was in ruins. All the trust was gone. What do you do when your multi-billion-dollar company is suddenly broken? Well, there was really only one thing left to do with their incredible technology. In 2001, IBM stepped in, and the story goes, they were pushed by huge customers like Walmart, who were still running on Informix tech and needed it to survive. IBM bought the database business for $1 billion. And just like that, the database wars were over for Informix. They'd lost. Okay, so after all of that drama, what's the lesson here? Why are we talking about a tech company from the 90s today?
The takeaway is absolutely critical. Having the best tech is not enough to win. It's just not. Informix is the ultimate proof that a toxic culture and a catastrophic failure of leadership can sink even the most brilliant product. In the end, Informix wasn't beaten by Oracle, it beat itself.
But here's the final fascinating twist in the story. That elegant, powerful technology,
It was so good that it didn't actually die. IBM kept it, they kept developing it, and it's still alive today, ticking away inside their product lineup. The product actually outlived the company that created it.
And that leaves us with a really powerful question to think about, right? The story of Informix is the stark reminder that amazing innovation and basic integrity have to go together. Because without good, honest leadership, even the most world-changing ideas can just vanish into history.